What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Joysticks United. What's that? This is a Miles G170, the Cadoodle-friendly streamer that you can also find over on YouTube and his YouTube partner. No, this is E, because E's now taking over because we are doing something very special for the Power Rangers anniversary that's happening. We are playing the new Power Rangers role-playing game. Now, we didn't really have an episode 0 because a lot of things was kind of going on, so this is kind of acting as our 0/episode 1, or session 1, if you will. So, first things first, we're going to kind of start off with our session 0, where we are going to be introducing our characters and all the little tidbits that we would currently like to share about them without ruining any particular spoilers coming up ahead. So starting off, I would like to introduce to you guys our very unique Purple Ranger, who is acting as our Red Ranger on the Power Grid spectrum. I introduce to you XenoStream38 as our character Xander.
Hello. So I can't really say too much about my character because DME will yell at me and beat me with a stick. But I think I can say he's where he's from, right?
Yes.
Okay. So my character is not originally from this universe that we're currently playing in. They're from a different universe, and as the story kind of progresses, you'll kind of understand how Xander got to this universe and stuff, and what kind of happened back home and stuff, as his past starts to unveil through the story. But so far, Xander is just a normal guy in a sense, but he's from somewhere else within the morphing grid. So he's just trying to find his way in this new world that he's in and adapting the best he can. What else? I'm trying to think back to my skills and stuff that I had. If I remember correctly, doning the Red Ranger stuff, he's kind of tries to be more of a leader and stuff like that, and kind of guide the crew as best he can and kind of keep everybody together. Although I'm sure it will become very challenging as we progress through this. I think that's kind of all I really got for him right now, because I don't want to say too much and spoil anything. I don't want to keep him shrouded in mystery a little bit.
And the one thing I do like about tabletop RPGs, and Miles can probably also say the same thing because he is definitely more of a veteran than I am, is the one cool thing is when you come in with a character, you can keep them kind of a blank slate. You can kind of keep them a little open, and as the story progresses, you can build on more to that. So Xander, sure, he might have these mysteries surrounding him now, but as we progress, he's probably going to become a way more solid of a character. Now, altering from our Red Ranger, we have to go with the second most common color in every Power Rangers universe, and that is our Blue Ranger. So our Blue Ranger on the Blue's power spectrum is going to be Miles playing Devon Johnson. Miles, why don't you explain a little bit about your character Devon to us?
Hi, I'm Devon. I'm a community college student. I'm actually just starting. I'm so excited. So I guess you could say I've always been a natural caregiver. Even when I was a kid, I took care of my younger siblings and kind of looked out for my friends. I've always wanted to be an EMT and kind of just help people and make a big difference in my community. So here I'm going to be focusing on emergency medicine and kind of getting the skills I need. I'm also really good with computers. I tinker with them all the time. I like to build little things. I like to mess around with stuff. I'm just really excited to be here.
All right, I honestly like how you were as your character introducing themselves.
All right, so outside of that, I'm Miles G170. If you've listened to Joysticks, you know me. I've been playing tabletops only about 5 or 6 years now. I've DM'd, I've played multiple campaigns. Most of my experience is in 5e. I have a little bit outside of that with stuff like Pathfinder and just messing around with other systems, but I'm very much a 5e player, so a lot of stuff that I say is probably going to be instead of what do we have instead of advantage and disadvantage, push and pull or
it is
something.
edge and I forget what the other one's called, but it's edge and something else.
So
disadvantage, edge and disadvantage.
So if I mess up the terminology, it's just because I'm so used to 5e. I'm going to do my best to use the terminology for this game, like specialization instead of proficiency. Things like that.
And you know what? The cool thing, so for those who are listening, well, I'm making it sound like it's a radio station. For those just now tuning in.
Well, we are doing a video of this too.
We are. So for those who are kind of skipping ahead on the video, and for our audio listeners who are following along, with the Power Rangers role-playing game, it doesn't use the typical 5e system that you would find with Dungeons and Dragons. It doesn't use the system that Call of Cthulhu uses, Pathfinder. It uses something called the Essence 20 system, which is very specific to Hasbro properties. I know they own D&D and Wizards of the Coast, but this one focuses more on their other properties that they're trying to bring into the role-playing space, be it with Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and apparently this summer My Little Pony. So yeah, I don't really understand that one, but My Little Pony's a thing for tabletop role-playing now.
We're sorry to our millions and millions of My Little Pony listeners. We will not be playing that one.
So
check out Coder Coco for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Bug Coder Coco, he will totally do it. Twitch.tv/Coder Coco. Check him out. But with the Essence 20 system, everything relies on the D20, but certain roles, like certain, I guess skills is the best way to put them, will require a little boost sometimes if that character is more proficient in that. So like, let's say Miles said that he wants to be an EMT. So let's say a character gets hurt and they need an EMT, like somebody just needs to bandage them up real quick. Miles would have the advantage to that, so he'd have additional dice that he can roll specifically for that. But even if he doesn't specialize in something, but he's more knowledgeable in it, he can add one extra dice, be it however knowledgeable he is in it, to add to his roll to try to increase past that challenge. So normally I set a challenge down for the boys. So let's say the difficulty level's a 10. They would both have to try to roll to beat that 10. And sometimes they can have an extra dice to try to push them right past it. Just as Miles just rolled here. So people who are watching the video, he tried rolling for science. It was a difficulty of 10, but he failed by 1. But let's say, because I think that's just the D20, right? It doesn't add anything to it.
No, it automatically adds my skill in. I had.
Oh, does it?
I rolled.
Oh, I see. Skill 3. So
1d2, 1d4, 1d6 on top of the d20. Because I'm specialized in medicine. So I was able to roll with all of those dice, like you said. So I rolled a d20 as a base of 6. And then I ended up getting ones essentially on all 3 of those dice. Just bad luck.
Yeah.
It's tough when you're doing a computer one because RNG on a computer against RNG against physical dice is a very different thing.
No, what's funny is I learned how to do that for initiative, but I haven't been able to find out how to do with skills, because I was testing with one of our NPCs, and I saw you were doing it, and I just kind of gave up because I was giving myself a headache.
It's off of the character sheet.
Really?
Everything I'm rolling is off the character sheet. I'm clicking, like... So if you want me to roll a intimidation... I'm not specialized. I don't have any boosters. So it's going to be a straight D20. And I have a snag because not specialized.
Snag, that's the term. Snag and edge.
So I rolled a 16 and a 6 because I have snag. I get the 6.
Yeah, because, like, for me, I just don't see how you roll that on here.
So what do you try to roll driving? Just click on driving.
Yeah, if I click on driving, nothing happens. Like, I don't have a button for it or anything.
Mine is like the blue and purple button when I'm looking at it.
Oh, I see. I got to click on it as an NPC, and then I can do it.
Yeah, you have to take control of the NPC you're using.
Okay. It's probably because I'm as the GM. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably different on my end than it is on your guys' side.
Will be.
So we learned how to figure this one out, folks. Look at me go. By the way, I actually bought Red Ranger dice specifically for this, and it came with
so jealous.
the Tyrannosaurus Rex power coin.
Telling you, you ever see White Ranger, Green Ranger, Mighty Morphin
If you
dice?
see blue, send it my way.
Actually, they used to have green at the place I was, but it got bought. I think they still have blue. I saw that red was still there, and I was like, I have to get red.
They're $15, $10.
They're cheap. They're actually pretty cheap dice.
Yeah, they're super cheap. Amazon has them for 15. I'm gonna be getting them.
Buying them right now.
Yeah, go
I'm
right ahead.
not right now, but I'll get them later. Okay.
All right,
So we kind of know our characters. We want to set the world up for us?
I most certainly will. So, our world is taking place in... Actually, let me bring up my notes that I sent. So, if anybody knows our good friend MilesG170 here and is familiar with the streams, you obviously know of his good friend Mattman. Mattman, being a forever DM, has helped me actually set up the beginning of this campaign, some twists, some turns, and just ultimately how to make this campaign better than I was originally kind of running it as. So he gave me some notes, him and I kind of had some back and forth, and ultimately we came up with something that is going to be a fun experience. And it was to the point that even Mattman said, I wish I could be a part of this because this seems like it's going to be a fun story. So
That'd be special.
If he thinks it's a fun time, hopefully it's a fun time for you guys. Now, as for world, this takes place in its own part of the grid. If you don't know what the grid is for the Power Rangers, I'm going to have Zeno explain that because he's our Power Rangers encyclopedia.
So the grid is essentially where the Mighty Morphin powers come from. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like an energy source that, similar to the MCU, transcends like the multiverse. You can travel to different universes via the grid. It's like a source of like unimaginable power, essentially. When the Power Rangers morph, they're morphing and they're being granted the power of the morphing grid to transform into their suits and stuff like that and be able to summon their Megazords and everything like that. It all communicates together and is connected together.
So with our particular grid, it's set in one where there's been no established Power Rangers. Nobody's heard of the Power Rangers. They've never seen big monsters before. Think of any other regular Power Rangers series where, you know, it's a brand new fresh pair of teens and all of a sudden, whoosh, there's monsters. Kind of that kind of situation. This one takes place in a town called Rogue Clearing. And our particular players are freshmen at a community college at Rogue Clearing Community College. Completely original, I know.
Am I to assume nobody knows like that I'm from a different?
Absolutely correct. You just blend in like you're a regular person.
So we're just the RCCCCCCCCCC?
CCC.
CCC.
So the RCCC.
That's it. RCCC.
RCCC. I like that. So, like I said, you're all freshmen, and they are taking the required course of Computer Science 101 being taught by Mr. Landers. Now, and I'm going to let our players here decide what their character's reason is for it, but they decided that they were going to help out Mr. Landers with his Saving the Forest program that he does annually. And what this is he takes a group of community college students that he has taught or is currently teaching. They go out to the forest. Everybody's kind of buddied up with, I guess technically an upperclassman or somebody Mr. Landers trusts, a fellow teacher. They go out, they pick up trash, they clean up the environment, they go on nature hikes, and they just experience nature for what it is. And this is happening during their spring break. So whatever reason these two have decided to sign up for it is completely of their own volition. But hopefully they can help clean up this park and see all the different mysteries that are lurking inside for them. Welcome, everybody. I would like to introduce to you a brand new and very unique Power Rangers team. One that has been like none other before it. We have known before in the past that different spiritual protectors have been set in folklore to protect both the forest, humanity, and everything in between. Now it's time for both of those things to come together, unite, and protect humanity for one more time with something that we are calling Power Rangers Spirit Force. Hey everyone, thank you for coming to check out Session 0. Make sure to tune in next week for Session 1, where you can learn more about these characters and the mysteries and the challenges that are going to be coming up to our Power Ranger Spirit Force. You can check it out wherever you get your podcasts from, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even on YouTube, where you can watch the video version of this campaign. If you like what you heard or saw, let us know. You can also follow us on Twitter at Joysticks United. We also have a Discord that's available for you to join as well. And again, I really appreciate you guys coming in to give this a listen, and I really hope that you enjoyed as much as we've been playing it.